O God our Lord, we plead with you to be with us throughout the period of this program. Grant the guest lecturer the strength, the eloquence to deliver the talk, and grant us the ability to listen and reflect. And we pray that by the time we complete this segment, we have full cause to glorify your holy name, because we are prayed in your very holy name.
The chairman of Student Association of Ogumosho Grammar School, distinguished guests, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. On behalf of the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Barrister Abiodun Abdurrahman Abdurrahim, I want to welcome all students. If not for the word gold, the way and manner by which they're looking, you won't say they are old, they are still very much relevant. I pray all old students, you will continue to radiate God's glory. You're looking good. And just like I asked Baba the other time that they should give us the secret. He's yet to give me the secret, but I will try as much as possible to find out the secret behind all these good looks. The present administration in the state lays a very much emphasis on the contribution of all students into the development of our school.
Exclusively, but in critical measure upon the quality of more than any other factor upon the quality of their teachers. This is to show that quality teacher is sine qua non in raising and nurturing a star. And the only avenue to achieve this is through the instrumentation of regulatory agency backed by government, and which is an act of parliament. I say Ogumosho Grammar School is one of the renowned institutions in this part of the country, and your products are testimonial to greatness of your school. The principal, the teachers, and the non-teaching staff are a summary of change makers. And I'm glad Mrs. Phillip is still here. They are summary of change makers, and most importantly, the founding fathers are wonderful visionary. And we just give the round of applause. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless you. Praise the Lord. That
stars of the future. Shouldn't we also be looking at the environment in which they are trained? I have been to a number of our local environment. I've been to a number of classrooms in what we call schools. They will not even pass for a place where you can keep codes. So we shouldn't just focus on the personnel. We should focus on the environment. I've been to primary schools in a number of other countries, even African countries, and you'll be amazed at what you see there. So we need to start thinking. Yes, I know the problem has been the insincerity of our government, but we need to keep addressing them. And when you talk about even salaries being increased, we shouldn't be talking about salaries alone. We should be talking about being index linked to inflation. Yes, you can give me salary today. Tomorrow there's inflation. That's already eating into it. So you are closer to government. You should see whether you can address that. Thank you very much.
If I ask any of us here whether we had any of our child that are school in this place, I don't know how many people will raise up their hand. It means there is no continuity. There's a problem. We send our children to Jesuit College because you have already, from your lecture, sir, the private schools have problems. And their problems are many. Yet, they are the ones that will patronize. In the next 30 years, when we'll be celebrating 100 years or centenary anniversary of this school, I don't know whether those ones that are in this school now will be the level at which some of us are now. And that is my fear. Something happened recently. GCI was given back to the old students. I think if we start from there, we can bring back the glory of this school. I know what it took me to gain admission to this school in 1979. I did entrance exam, I did interview, I did aptitude, everything. Today, we have discovered that most of our secondary school teachers write exam for their students. And I just pray that doesn't happen in my alma mater. But for it not to happen, we need to take a step further, and that is to the president's side. This year I'll be given back to the old students. What can we do to have our schools back?
I want to appreciate the erudite professor for the beautiful lecture. The question I really want to ask has to do with these private schools that you mentioned in the course of your lecture. What are the measures that your council is putting in place to check the many atrocities that we have among the private schools, apart from employing unqualified teachers to teach our students? My second observation is about this school. We passed through this school when there was a boarding system, and that was when we were highly disciplined. I'm seeing some of my seniors here now. I remember how they handled us. And when we became senior school, I remember how we handled the juniors that were under us. So I want to appeal to the whole students of this school, to appeal to the state government to please restore the boarding system of Okumosho Grammar School. Once that one is restored, I think the whole students will be able to come in and do what is necessary to return the glory of the school back. Thank you very much.
The involvement of government in education, politicization of education. In the days of our principal, EGO, President Hector, even they have power to employ teachers. But nowadays, all the powers of the principals have been eroded. They don't even have power to recruit students again. They don't have the power to examine them, interview them as we did when they were taking us in here. So what your council will do to probably appeal to the government to please reduce such power of politicizing education. What they will not be able to do, they will say they will do. And they are destroying education seriously. When you are talking about training and retraining. MCPT, mandatory compulsory training for teachers. Yes, it is good. But majority of the teachers, all the top to the principal level, they make use of their stipend, the salary they earn to train themselves. Government are not reimbursing them, they are not paying them. And you want them to be training themselves when the salary they are giving them is not even enough to take them home. So please help us appeal again to the government. Whenever they want to let them be trained, they should please pay them something, even if it is subsidization, 50%. Thank you very much.
Just 2 minutes to be able to do this. Well, the first item was that I left out lecturers. Actually, they are here. You can see them, professors. They will say they are lecturers, that they are not teachers. Is it true? I normally tell them, Fela Anikulapo Kuti told them the truth. He said, teacher, not be lecturer, be your name. You are teachers. The level at which you are teaching is what is different. We have primary school teachers, we have secondary teachers, and we have university teachers. Teachers are teachers. We always tell them, it's only in Nigeria somebody will finish a PhD like all the person who asks the question, and they will unleash the person to the classroom. Go and be lecturer. It is wrong. No country, developed country do that. Even when I got to Botswana, they are not doing that. Ask them, what is continuous assessment? Do you know what they do? Continuous assessment, they will say this student got 0 in continuous assessment. How can a student score 0 in continuous assessment? If you know the name itself, it's continuous repetitive measure. But because they don't know, they have never done anything in the area of pedagogy. They will give one test at the end of the semester. Any student who misses the test, they will say fail CA. I laugh at them. These are some of the things we have been telling them. But I'm happy now. Some universities are now establishing teaching and learning centers. We have it in UI. Anybody who wants to teach now, if you are a fresh graduate, they will first of all take you to teaching and learning. It is wrong. You get a PhD today, because you get a PhD, they just push you to the classroom. It is not acceptable. So we are also emphasizing that. And do you know, even professors are taking TRCN exam now. Yes, they are now registering. So we are not leaving them. We also speak to them. But you know, they are my friends. They are my people. They will also fight me. You know what is awaiting me. They will wait for Sheikh Ajiboye, and they will tackle me accordingly. You mentioned the issue of the MCPD being provided, yes, and I will link it up to all the MCPD programs. What we are trying to do at the level of TRCN, as at now, teachers actually don't pay for most of the training that we provide. We give the training to the teachers, and we even give them training allowance and some other things like that. We accommodate them, we pay them transport, and provide this training to them. But with the area of mandatory continuing professional, what we want the teachers themselves to do is to be able to develop a portfolio of your own. You should be able to develop your own teaching portfolio, where you are going to have your teaching philosophy and some other ideas that will guide your teaching. These are things you can do without even going anywhere. You can do it on your own. These are part of the MCPD that we are advocating for. Yes, the school environment is also critical. Why are we isolating teachers? Even when you have beautiful environment, our conviction is that the teacher actually is the strongest element in that teaching and learning environment. Some questions are directed to the president, like how do all students will sustain the school, and making sure that maybe like what is happening about the GCI. Some of us are not in support, because of our orientation. We don't believe that schools should be. When Ajimabi wanted to sell schools in Oyo State, we stood against him, and we did not allow him to do that. But those students can look at what they can do with the hostels. Booking the boarding system, the same thing. I think the old student can take that up. If the old student build his own hostel, I think it's sustainable, and I think we can run it. I think it's something that is doable.
Is education still the key to success? Yes. There is still no alternative to education. Education, education, education. I will give it to you. Believe you me, if you say that you don't need the certificate today, it's not working for you, it's not. Tomorrow, when they call for those who are required in that particular area, if you don't have that qualification, you will not be able to show up. Education still remains the fundamental key to success. So please, help us tell them that look, even if you want to be a farmer, you will be a better farmer with good quality education, and it will change you. Somebody mentioned the issue of strikes. Yes, but for the teachers in the schools, I think this has been reduced a bit now. It's only in a few states where we still have teachers that are not being paid and are not being paid well. And we believe very strongly. There is no place I go, no state government. When I want to meet with them, the first question I told the governor of Bayelsa a few weeks ago when I was there, I have already gotten the list. I said, does it pay teachers well? They told me the NUT had first met with them. And that's what I normally do. Any state I go, before I can meet with the governor, I will have my details. Because I want to know, like that Bayelsa, I told them, when I told the governor, when I told them that in your schools you have 2 teachers in the school, they were looking at me, they said, how did you get this? I gave them all the list of all the schools in Bayelsa State. And schools where you have 2 teachers, 3 teachers. They were looking at me. I met with one governor, Jigawa State governor, and I said, look at what we are doing. In Jigawa, you will get to a school, you will meet 4 teachers. 3 of them will be Arabic medium only. 3 will be Arabic medium out of the 4. You are in trouble. And this is also, it can be linked to the issue of politicization of education. And that's what we normally tell them. Don't use the recruitment of teachers as payback time for your political voice. No! Teaching jobs should not be used as payback time for political voice. After the election, they want to do recruitment. They want to do... No! You can put them in any other place. But please don't bring them to teaching. Please, go and engage them in this skill acquisition center. Don't bring them to the classroom. And that's what we have been telling the various governors. Yes, well, we cannot have uniform education system for the country. We have challenges in some parts of the country, and that's why so many programs of government in bridging some of these things are already there. But I agree with you that is this not actually slowing down some other people? Yes, but that's why we should not slow down. Because I want to say that in 20 years, 30 years time, I do not see some part of the country catching up with some other part of the country in terms of education. It is not possible. Because it's like an we are not going to rest on our horse. We'll make sure that we continue to do the best for our children and provide quality education for them. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Professor Adiboye talked about education generally, against the background of the contentious issue whether education is still the key to success or not. And he traced the trajectories of the Ogbomoso Grammar School and its achievement in producing staff. He extrapolated that on a global context, comparing notes with different other countries. And he was able to establish the significance of education as that activity that liberates the human mind. But behind it, he established that behind it are good, professional, and quality teachers. Some years back, that's the summary of the lecture. Some years back, when I was admitted to University of Ibadan for master degree, they used to pay 50 naira as bench fee. It was my set. They upgraded the fee to 500 naira bench fee. That was a lot of money then. We were not preparing for that. And I was thinking that when I get to UI, I will go and tell the secretary of the institute where I'm to study. Why is it in my own set? And as I got to Mr. Oni, as he then was, his office, he put a small poster. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Nobody told me number. I think the problem with us in Nigeria is that we equate education with many certificates. Our friend who talked about his friend saying, is it you are the one who mentioned that that's your friend who is successful, probably is rich. Did he go to school at all? Was he taught from home at all? If he were to be an ignoramus, he will not be successful at all. So there is no two-way, no shortcut to education. And I will anchor that with the Japanese proverb, the pride of a teacher is more than that of an in-law. So without the teacher, there is nothing you can do at all. Your mother may be your teacher, your father may be your teacher, your teacher that was employed in the school may be your teacher, but without a teacher, you are not going anywhere. And that's the reason that the Japanese, in their proverb, insist that the pride of a teacher is more than that of an in-law. With that, I come to the conclusion about the lecture. But because the Yoruba said, Professor Ajiboye is here, and he talked about policy issues based on what Prof raised. Whether those who are in the university that we are referring to are actually teachers. I agree with you to some extent, but conclusively I will not agree with you. Because that's one of the problems we have in the country. Thinking that those who work in the university as academics are teachers. They are not teachers. The primary responsibility of somebody who is in academic position in the university system is to generate knowledge and extend the frontiers of knowledge. Mentorship, which is the second work that is to do, includes classroom teaching and giving teaching or lectures in different ways. One is what Prof has done. One is what I'm doing here. So classroom teaching is just about 1/9 of the way by which it's supposed to continue the mentorship and regeneration of the society. Thinking that they are teachers has actually reduced a lot of our colleagues to thinking that they are teachers. Instead of advancing knowledge, they now wait just to go to class to teach. It's unfortunate where we found ourselves. They are not teachers, they are academics. Their primary work is to advance knowledge and then teach the knowledge in one of the ways by going to the class. But when Prof, you are very correct. Somebody just coming green, even with a PhD. Up till now, my department, I don't allow it. You cannot just be coming. And then we assign you a class and you'll be teaching. We first of all peer you. That may appear to be high-handed now, but that's what I see in my department. And I hope our colleagues will take it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I guess we are in the afternoon now. Everybody on this side of the table, including the representative of the Honorable Commissioner for Education. We are grateful that you are here. Today is a very special day the Life Montreal Grammar School. The lecture we had today has made so much of a difference to me as a person, and I guess to many people who listen to that lecture. And the reviewer has done a great job as well. Come to think of it, there's no difference between education as a means to an end and education as an end in itself. Sometimes we never get it right. Today, we are all here because of the 70th anniversary of OGS Grammar School. But for the fact that we passed through this school, for the little learning that we had, we probably would not have been here today. Education means a world to many of us. And without it, perhaps we'll be nobody. Some questions have been raised, which I'm supposed to respond to. And I can only tell my colleagues that we have always had it in mind. One, I think a great disservice was done by cancelling the boarding house facility in most of the schools, particularly in our own grade school. We have come to the conclusion our boarding house turned, we can never get the kind of benefit that we had initially. We are concerned about it, we have discussed it, and we are going to move forward to re-establish it sometime. Furthermore, the possibility of covering the OGS Grammar School, maybe from government, is also part of our interest. And we are going to work assiduously to get it back. But all this can be done by one person. Gentlemen and ladies, and our guests, we have work to do. In those days, particularly for the young men who had the opportunity of going to rent bicycles, you know those two tires, like somebody we used to refer to as repairer. Has anybody experienced going to rent a bicycle? You pay to rent a bicycle and you ride it around, you return it. The man of that time, we used to call them repairer. Many repairers will come. I want to take myself to be one of the aspiring repairers. With your support, if you join the vision which we are projecting, as an aspiring repairer, you'll be able to repair some of the damage that has been done to this great institution. Without it, we don't know what we'll get if we come back another 70 years' time. I have had the opportunity of speaking with the representative of the government, and they have encouraged us to start with writing a letter. If we write a letter in the form of what has happened to Government College, they will consider the prospect of returning the school to us. But it is not enough to return the school to us. We must be prepared to run the school. For that reason, we have taken steps. We have proposed, and I will repeat again, an endowment trust fund. We have connected with those people who are representatives of this school. There is a registered trustee of the Old Students Association. With them and others, and the prospect of raising money so that we can be prepared for the task ahead, then we'll be able to do something. I want to present to him on your behalf a plaque. I'm going to open it. We have prayed on it. It has been blessed. It's an emblem of the fact that we recognize and love you, that you are great, and you will remain great. You have done so much, not only for us, for which reason we are proud. We are doing as much Nigeria. So some of us have lost, I don't know how to put it, the prospect that we can get anything out of this country. It's most unfortunate. This was not the way we met it. So much has happened that even for myself, I'm thinking of relocating. It's as bad. But if we must start, well, it's part of what we are going to start with. So on behalf of the Ogumoso Grammar School Old Students Association, on behalf of all the members of your school, in recognition of your decision, I actually and send this to you as an emblem that anywhere you display it, you not only let us shine, you will also shine. God will continue to bless you and bless your children. And thank you. Not only that, we know you are an academician. Yes. We know my dear professor, that you are an academician. And a book, what more than anything, it's not a perfect work, but it's about your school, our school. Maybe you read it if you have the time, but if it's in your library, someday, sometime, there'll be a reference to it. This will be the source for you. On behalf of the school, I give it to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, what can I say again? I really want to appreciate this school for what you have given to me. It's what we actually took away from Ogumoso Grammar School that we have become today. The star you implanted in us is what is actually shining to the world. So I really want to appreciate the leadership of Ogumoso Grammar School Students Association for giving me this recognition to present the 78th anniversary lecture. It's not a mean achievement. Like I said at the beginning, there is not going to be another 78th anniversary. This is going to be the first and the only one. And so I'm very grateful. On behalf of my family, my wife and children, we are indeed very grateful for this wonderful honor. And I'm very glad. Well, like I said, even when the president was talking, there are some of us, we normally see ourselves as just mere bed of passage because we did only 2 years there. Those who are citizens, we know them. But now that we have been fully recognized as bona fide members of Ogumoso Grammar School. Yes, when I was in US, I was a member. I was a member of OGS. He knows, Mr. Lamudia. I was a strong member of OGS. So, I don't hide my school, and I'm always proud of the school. Well, we know what to do. By the grace of God, we will just give a token of 250 naira to all the school.
Again, a round of applause. A loud round of applause. A standing ovation. Thank you very much. Lucky enough to have met one of your children, so of my ESCO, and the whole students in school are here present. I respectfully present this to you personally. It's not for personally, so that once in a while you can glance through it and find reasons to send, if not your children, your grandchildren, to go to grammar school and be better citizens. Thank you.
And gentlemen, and Mr. Adebayo, be on our feet to sing the school anthem. Mo fẹ́ kọrin ní pápá fún